Ladies and gentlemen, we've all been hurt by words, by actions, by betrayal, or by people we trusted the most. And when someone hurts us deeply, our first instinct is often revenge. We want to strike back, to show them how it feels, to prove our worth. But let me tell you something powerful. The best revenge is not revenge at all. The best revenge is not in shouting louder, not in returning pain, and not in wishing bad for others. The best revenge is growth, success, and peace. When you rise above their actions and focus on becoming the best version of yourself, you leave them behind, not just physically, but emotionally and mentally. They expect you to stay broken, angry, and stuck. But instead, surprise them, heal, evolve, win silently. Let your achievements speak louder than your words. Let your happiness be a loud message. You didn't destroy me. You made me stronger. Don't lower yourself to their level. Rise so high they can't reach you anymore. That is real power. That is the sweetest revenge. When someone we care about hurts us, whether through betrayal, lies, disrespect, or abandonment, it cuts deep. That pain isn't just emotional. It can affect your thoughts, confidence, and even your physical health. It's important to understand that feeling pain is not a weakness. It's a human response. Op-ed. You are allowed to cry. You are allowed to feel angry, disappointed, confused, or even numb. These emotions are natural reactions to being let down or mistreated by someone you trusted. In fact, acknowledging your pain is the first step toward healing. Many people make the mistake of pretending to be effeminate or suppressing their feelings just to look strong. But true strength is not in pretending. Everything is okay. It lies in accepting your reality and giving yourself permission to feel. Letting those emotions flow, journaling them, talking to someone about them, or even sitting silently with them is healthier than burying them. However, while it's okay to feel pain, it's not okay to live in it forever. Pain becomes dangerous when we make it a permanent home. When we let it define us or control our actions, we lose power over our own lives. Some people stay stuck in that hurt for years, holding on to grudges, bitterness, and memories that do nothing but poison their peace of mind. That's when pain turns into self-destruction. You have to understand that pain is a passing storm, not your identity. It's a process, not a destination. It teaches you, strengthens you, and eventually passes, but only if you allow yourself to move through it, not stay stuck in it. The person who hurt you may not deserve forgiveness, but you deserve freedom. And that freedom begins when you stop clinging to the pain and start choosing healing. When someone wrongs us, our natural reaction is often to strike back. Anger boils inside us, and we may fantasize about giving them a taste of their own medicine. But the truth is, anger-driven revenge only pulls you into their world of negativity. It traps you in the same toxic cycle that hurt you in the first place. You may feel a temporary sense of satisfaction, but it quickly fades and leaves behind even more emptiness, guilt, or regret. Real power lies not in destruction, but in transformation. Imagine this. Someone doubts your ability, disrespects your worth, or laughs at your dreams. If you let their words get into your head and spend your time plotting revenge, they win. They succeed in keeping you distracted, bitter, and stuck. But if you turn that same pain into fuel, if you work harder, grow smarter, and focus on your goals, then the game changes entirely. Your success becomes a message, a loud, undeniable message that says, "You tried to bring me down, but I rose instead." There is something deeply satisfying about succeeding in front of the very people who once expected your failure. And the best part? You don't need to say a word. Your achievements will do all the talking. Success isn't just about money, fame, or material things. It's about becoming stronger, wiser, and more fulfilled than you were before. It's about building a life so peaceful and meaningful that their presence or absence no longer matters. That kind of revenge is not about proving something to them, but about proving something to yourself, that you are more than what they did to you. While anger can destroy, success builds, and in that building, you gain self-respect, confidence, and inner peace that no one can take away from you. Choosing to rise instead of retaliate shows true character. It means you didn't just survive the pain, you turned it into power. Let me know when you want the next key point expanded. When someone hurts you, they often expect a reaction: tears, anger, revenge, or even collapse. It feeds their ego to know they had enough power to break you. But what truly confuses and even frustrates those who wish you harm is your ability to grow quietly, to heal silently, and to come back stronger without seeking attention or validation. That is the most unexpected and disarming response you can give. Growth and healing are not loud processes. They happen in quiet moments when you choose to forgive without telling anyone, when you decide to move on without announcing it, and when you work on yourself while the world still thinks you're broken. This kind of growth is not about impressing others. It's about rebuilding the parts of yourself that someone else tried to destroy. When you heal, you take back control over your life. You stop letting the actions of others define your self-worth. You stop reliving the betrayal and start creating new memories, stronger boundaries, and clearer goals. Healing doesn't mean forgetting what happened. It means no longer letting it control your emotions or your identity. That quiet strength is more powerful than any confrontation. The person who hurt you might be waiting to see you fail. They might still be gossiping, doubting, or mocking you from afar. But when you focus on personal growth, they lose their power over you. They become irrelevant to your journey, and that stings more than any insult or revenge ever could. Because in the end, nothing unsettles a person more than seeing someone they tried to break become unshakable. True healing brings peace. It brings clarity. And most of all, it brings freedom. It allows you to live a life that no longer carries the weight of what someone else did to you. That freedom itself is a silent but undeniable victory. It speaks volumes even if you never say a word. In a world where everyone wants to prove themselves through arguments, status updates, or public confrontations, choosing to let your results speak for you is a powerful and rare act. When people hurt or underestimate you, the temptation to respond immediately through words, blame, or confrontation is strong. You want them to know they were wrong. You want to defend your name, your dignity, your story. But the truth is, talk is cheap and results are unforgettable. When you focus on building your life, improving your skills, and achieving your goals, you create a voice that's louder than any argument. Words can be denied or twisted, but results can't be ignored. When the people who hurt you see you thriving, growing, and moving forward despite everything they did to you, it creates an undeniable impact. It forces them to face a truth they never expected, that they did not break you. You don't need to post about it. You don't need to announce your success or remind them of how wrong they were. There is a deep kind of satisfaction in accomplishing something quietly and letting them find out on their own. Because when your life becomes your evidence, no explanation is needed. Achievements can come in many forms: mental peace, financial stability, a healthy relationship, a strong body, a successful business, or simply a better, wiser version of yourself. Each one of those things says something louder than revenge ever could. They say, you couldn't stop me. And more importantly, I chose myself over pain. Also, when you let your actions do the talking, you preserve your energy. Instead of wasting time, arguing, or trying to prove someone wrong, you redirect that energy into growth. You create a path so strong that people can't help but notice, even if you never say a word. That quiet confidence is both admirable and intimidating. It's proof that strength doesn't always shout. Sometimes it simply shows. When someone hurts you, especially someone close, it can leave a storm of emotions behind. Anger, sadness, confusion, and even a craving for revenge may fill your heart. But what truly shows that you've healed, grown, and risen above it all is not how loud you are about your pain, but how genuinely happy and peaceful you become in spite. The world often expects the wounded to remain wounded, to carry bitterness, to walk with anger, or to constantly seek validation. But the moment you choose peace over chaos and happiness over hatred, you are breaking that expectation. You're showing that you're no longer living under the shadow of what someone else did to you. Peace is not just the absence of noise or problems. It's a calm that comes from within, knowing that you no longer carry the burden of anger or revenge. It's a sign that you've taken control of your emotions and redirected your energy toward building a life that feels whole again. And that peace becomes visible. It shows in your behavior, your words, your smile, even in your silence. Happiness, on the other hand, is the ultimate message. It tells the world and the person who hurt you that they no longer have the power to affect your spirit, that their actions didn't define your future. And when you are truly happy, you don't even feel the need to prove it to anyone. It simply radiates from you. The one who caused you pain might still be waiting to see you fail, to see you bitter or angry. But when they see you smiling, laughing, succeeding, and at peace, they're met with something they didn't expect: indifference. And indifference can be more powerful than anger because it says, you no longer matter to me. Peace and happiness are proof that you've moved on, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. They show that your heart is no longer tied to the past, and that you've chosen a future built on healing rather than hatred. One of the most damaging effects of being hurt by someone is not just the pain itself, but the way it can take control of your mind, your emotions, and sometimes even your life. When someone betrays you, disrespects you, or causes you emotional harm, they often gain a kind of silent power over you, not because they deserve it, but because your focus stays locked on them. You replay what they said. You think about what you should have done differently. You imagine confronting them, getting justice, or seeing them suffer. And while all of this is happening in your mind, guess who's in control? They are, not physically, but emotionally. As long as you let your peace, mood, and thoughts be shaped by what they did, you are handing over your power to the very person who hurt you. But here's the truth. Healing begins the moment you take that power back. And how do you do that? By shifting the focus back to yourself. Not on how to hurt them back, but on how to build yourself up. When you stop chasing closure or revenge and start investing in your own growth, you regain your energy. You become the main character in your own story again, not a victim of someone else's choices. Start asking yourself, what makes me feel alive? What do I want from my life? What areas of myself can I strengthen mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually? Because every minute you spend thinking about someone who hurt you is a minute stolen from your own development. You don't owe your pain to them forever. You owe yourself healing. Taking back control also means setting boundaries. It means not letting someone's past behavior continue to shape your current mindset. It means refusing to give them the satisfaction of knowing you're still affected. It's about telling yourself, they may have hurt me, but they no longer own a space in my heart or my head. When you make that shift, when your energy, time, and thoughts become centered on improving your own life, you not only take back control, you begin to build a version of yourself that they can no longer touch. In a world where pride often drives actions and egos lead decisions, choosing to be the bigger person is often misunderstood. Some people think that walking away, forgiving, or refusing to fight back means you're soft, scared, or weak. But the reality is quite the opposite. Being the bigger person requires emotional strength, maturity, and deep inner wisdom, qualities that many people lack. When someone hurts you, insults you, or disrespects you, your ego screams for a reaction. You may feel like you have to defend yourself, clap back, or humiliate them the way they tried to humiliate you. That's a natural instinct, but reacting immediately and harshly often makes you just like them. It drags you into the same negative space that they live in, and that's a space you should be rising out of, not sinking into. The bigger person takes a different path, not because they can't fight back, but because they choose not to lower themselves. It's a choice based on understanding something deeper, that revenge and drama offer only temporary satisfaction, but peace and dignity offer lasting strength. Being the bigger person might look like silence when you could have shouted. It might look like a calm response when someone expected rage. It might look like walking away, not because you're afraid, but because you know your value doesn't depend on proving a point. And that's where true power lies, in knowing you could respond, but you're not letting someone else's behavior control your character. It takes wisdom to see the bigger picture, to understand that every reaction is a reflection of who you are, not who they are. So when you choose calm over chaos, peace over pride, and forgiveness over grudges, you're showing that you are not shaped by your enemies. You are led by your own principles. You maintain your self-respect and you keep your energy clean. And the most powerful part is, while they remain stuck in their bitterness, you continue to move forward in grace. When someone wrongs you, especially in a way that feels deeply personal, like betrayal, humiliation, or abandonment, the pain can make you feel like something inside you has been broken. They may have left you in a situation filled with doubt, sadness, or emotional wreckage, believing they've damaged your ability to rise again. That's what many people who hurt others assume, that they've won by leaving behind scars. But here's the truth. They only win if you stay down. Living well is the most powerful response to those who expected your destruction. It's a quiet, graceful rebellion against the idea that someone else had the final say in your story. When you focus on rebuilding your life, better, stronger, and more fulfilled than before, you're sending a clear and undeniable message. You tried to destroy me, but I chose to rebuild. And living well doesn't necessarily mean wealth or fame. It means waking up with peace in your heart, surrounding yourself with love and respect, finding purpose in your days, and refusing to be defined by the darkness someone else brought into your life. It's about showing that their cruelty didn't limit your future. It's proof that their actions didn't trap you. They transformed you. You don't need to tell them anything. You don't have to prove your strength through words or confrontation. Your life itself becomes the message. Every step forward you take, every goal you reach, every smile you wear, despite the past, it all speaks for you. It tells the world, and more importantly, yourself, that you are unbreakable, that your spirit is stronger than your scars. Those who hurt you often feed off the idea that they left a lasting wound. But when they see you healed, joyful, and thriving, it unsettles them. Because in that moment, they realize they no longer have power over you. You've outgrown the pain, and you've moved into a life that no longer includes them. Not in your thoughts, not in your emotions, not in your journey forward. Living well is not just about moving on. It's about rising higher, walking in peace, and proving through your growth that no one has the authority to write your ending but you. At some point in life, we all face betrayal, disrespect, or pain at the hands of others. And while it's tempting to respond with anger, revenge, or loud confrontation, the truth is, real power lies in how silently and gracefully you rise above it all. The best revenge is not to hurt back, but to heal so deeply that the past can no longer touch you. Let your peace be your protest. Let your happiness be your answer. Let your success, your calm, your growth, and your silence speak louder than anything you could ever say. The people who tried to break you don't deserve your energy, but you deserve a life full of strength, joy, and freedom. So don't live to prove them wrong. Live to prove to yourself that you are always more powerful than the pain they caused. That is the best revenge. That is the ultimate victory.